Hello everyone, welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight.
Robert Spotlight.
Robert Spotlight.
Robert Spotlight.
Robert Spotlight.
Doing all this moderation stuff for Discord.
I'm a social media futurist.
Been a moderator at Be Friends.
Now it's my project because I love sports.
I'm speaking at NFT NYC.
Welcome on the show. Welcome everyone, welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight and Robert Spotlight, Jinyao Lin. Welcome on the show.
Hi, hello. I'm Jinyao from Taiwan.
Yes, welcome on the show. Would you be able to present yourself for people that don't know you?
Okay, I'm a digital artist from Taiwan, and I'm also a composer. That I compose music. I graduated from the music department and also go to the new media department to do the research of the computer and the technology and the art. And then I have a PhD of computer science. After that, after master, I went to Taiwan University. So I have a different degree in music and fine art, and also in computer science.
Wow! So a big background. When did you start working with art?
I think I started digital art quite early. In my first piece published was in 2006. I just graduated from my master in fine art, and I start to do the installation art and the digital art.
Okay, perfect. And so 2006, what happened since then? Could you to share with you what I have in mind? It's I want to understand what is your background since you started working with art till you discover NFT. So could you?
Sure. I start to do the digital art that I create some installation art. I also went to many exhibition to show I use the computer to write program. So I also teach I start to write it's pure data because I learn music, and so I start to write program with the pure data to generate music and audio together. So I have several pieces that combine with using the code to generate. So I think I start to do the generative art since 2008. I start to publish many work on pure data to do the generative art. And I also start to do the creation with many theaters. So I'm also a director. I direct some show using the computer and the computer vision and the computer generate music together in the theater, like a multimedia theater. And then because I graduated from I have a degree of a PhD computer science. So I went to Paris at the 2015. That in the École des beaux-arts. Okay. I teach there in the digital center to teach the student to do the digital art. Like I teach them how to write the program and how to do the digital integrate their art with the computer. So yeah, I do many stuff with that, and because I'm always doing the digital art, writing the program to generate the video and the graphic. So since I think last year that I start to publish my work at FXH, that to some I have some Gen art works there. So I think that it was last year that I start to to write some NFT on FH, but I already do this for for a long time.
Okay, so what you just say, it's you started working with FXH recently, but you were doing generative art since 2008, if I'm get it right. Is
Yes.
that okay? Perfect. And tender art, I don't recall. You talk about a platform where you were posting your art before using FXH. What was the platform?
Oh, you mean the FXH?
No. Well, since because you start working with generative art since 2008. So
okay, I think I use the pure data to do the art. So, and I think I have many exhibition. Since then, there's no NFT, but they are. If we want to show our works, we go to different exhibition and to show. So I think I show my works at there's a PD convention, there's a exhibition, and also I have artist residency in New Zealand, in France, and many places. So I start to show my works in different places, but they are not. They I think it's quite pity that because I show the works and it can be only be seen by few people for locally, but with the now we have an NFT, so I can reach more audience that they can see what I'm doing for the past.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk a little bit how you find about NFT and blockchain. So
yeah, I start to do the piece because I have a friend. His name is Arlan. He start to publish his work on he published his work last year at Artblocks, and also some there's a for the Tezos it's called Here and Now. It's a platform that's to publish the NFT. So he start to do the creation, and because we are friends and we are doing we create the digital art for a long time. So he told me that okay, you should come to see this NFT, and that's we can do what we used to do in digital art and publish it into another form. So since last year, that when I see there's a platform FAH, that then I start to publish my work there, and soon that I publish it around like 10 pieces. Actually, those pieces was not I have an idea and to write them for a very long time, but I start to organize my old work and try to transform them into the generative art on there. So that's how I start to do the creation on NFT.
okay, so basically you talk with a friend that made a art block project last year, and when you discover that thing, you think about all the previous works that you have done and try to use them with the NFT medium.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, I have I developed also some new stuff, but I also transform some of my old stuff. Like I have a work. It's a series like a 6-piece. It's called Distortion City. That was the piece I create a show in 2009. That I create a show and using a lot of computer graphic to inside the theater. So I try to transform them into an NFT and publish them as a generative art.
Okay, perfect. So your next drop on Art Blocks is called Metaphysics.
Yes.
And it's going to launch in a couple days. It's I believe it's 7th of December.
Yeah, it will be November 7 in December or in December 7, and I think it's December 7, 2 p.m. Taiwan time. So
Okay.
it'll be like what time? In French time, I think it's also December. Oh, it's a December 6.
Maybe I'm not really sure about the time conversion. But
It's
let's talk a little bit about metaphysics, how you come up with the idea behind it. Let's talk about your process.
okay. I think it's the piece metaphysics is it's developed from my old piece like the Requiem and some old piece that I have already developed that I try to simulate a form that can be transformed. You mean do you know there's a Chinese kung fu called Tai Chi?
No, I don't know it.
That's that like in the there's a okay. It's a very interesting Chinese kung fu that you can move your hand very slowly, and but you need to turn around and to rotate your hand. So I think it's a very traditional qi gong in the Taiwanese traditional. And I found that it's very interesting because with this kind of movement that you can feel very strong, vivid, like
Did you say the Tai Chi?
yes, Tai Chi.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch the word. I was thinking you were talking about something technical. I wasn't. So okay, yes, I know Tai Chi. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. So the idea is from the like practice Tai Chi with the hand, slowly movement, and then but I try to develop them into different kind of shape. So it's like a painter is practicing the Tai Chi on the canvas, and that bring the painting very blooming, and it's very alive. So it feel like I was trying to deliver the concept that if you see this kind of the output and feel like there's a life behind it, and it's a feeling that you can it's because all the shape was developed by the programming by the algorithm, and it should be not organic. But if I try to put this kind of concept into it, and when you saw the picture, that you will feel like okay, it's like a life, and then it might be help you to feel okay. There's a life behind the geometry, and with this that it's a form of metaphysics, because what we call metaphysics is something that you can only feel, but you cannot see it. You can, for example, the life that it's you cannot see the life itself, but for the life that you can only feel. So this is what I want to deliver in a piece, that I want to deliver the life force, the vivid inside the feeling, but I cannot describe it. So I need to use the code to generate the movement and to generate the output. So with this, that you can feel like okay, there's something like life. It's a secret, a mystery of light behind, and so you can feel like when you can feel life. That I think that's the process of metaphysics. I'm not so sure if you can understand what I'm
Yes,
talking.
I understand. So me, without viewing, because you have minted one piece for the example, I believe, and after the mint live is going to be on December 7. My understanding, it's you wanted to retranscribe the Tai Chi movement, and so the Tai Chi movement around geometry. So it's what
Yeah.
I understood.
Yes, yes. So that I develop many different pattern. It's and I feel I think it's like the pattern is changing all the time, and it's like the cloud hand. It's cloud hand is also a movement in Tai Chi that like you move your hand slowly and rotate. So I try to transform this kind of movement into the painting. I think
Okay.
there are many artists they do this like there's a also Chinese artist Zhao Wuji or some artists they do this and they feel like they need to put this kind of concept in their painting and they feel like they can deliver the concept to the audience. So for me, I think I'm also thinking the same thing that for the generative art, that what we can deliver to the audience, because we we wrote a program and it's not only the we show the beauty of the code, that we also need to show the concept, what we are doing in the within the code to generate the output. So I think it's very important for me to put something that I want to make the generative art become meaningful. That so I want to put more what the traditional artist, the traditional painter do, and try to simulate their concept, but using the generative art to deliver the idea.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
the thing I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Did you do something that wasn't done before?
You mean the with this project, right?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I think this is the first time I'm developing something live or something organic, because usually I use a lot of geometry or I use a lot of line and point. But this time I think it's my first time to generate I generate a lot of leaf and it's like a plant. So I try to use this kind of geometry to put into my work. And this is also my first time that I think it's I have a lot of different sets. For example, that I work on this project for very long, and eventually I have 24 patents in within this project
Oh,
on metaphysics. So the but eventually there's only totally 200 edition eventually. So I think the output can be very interesting because I have 24 patents and also I have a lot of different combination. So I hope there should be a lot of variety this time.
okay. And did you ended up with a 200 edition?
You mean the finally two? I think what I discussed with the art blocks, they think at this moment the market might be not too good if we do the large edition. It might be not
Okay.
too good. So that's we discussed
One
about
factor.
this. Yeah, and we want this can be very. Uh, I think for the collector it's good because the edition is not too much, and then every collector they can get some royalty. So I think it's good because even eventually they might some combination not show off, but for me the 200 edition is a good number.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And did the art block teams advise you something else outside the supply?
Again, you mean the
Did you just say that the 200 edition, so the supply was a factor that Artblocks teams say to you, like the market is not very good, so maybe
yeah.
look into this number. So my question was, did Artblock teams advise you something else outside the supply?
Yeah, sure. That's we talk because I have this project applied since April, and we talk about to have this project on Artblocks since April, and it's already 9 months. We discuss a lot. So there's also the variety that they want more. I think they can the variety can be more, and also the some layout can be more crazy. So I tried to make it into my code. So at this moment, I think there's sometimes you will get very crazy and a very interesting output. I think this we talked many times, and they also have a committee that they wrote feedback to me. So I followed some of the suggestion was nice. So I tried to modify my code. And after so many times, 9 months, that finally I publish my work. So you'll be published next month.
Okay, perfect. What advice would you so take the perspective of an artist, a general artist that never make a project with an art block? So, what advice could you give to an artist that want to publish a project on art blocks?
Okay, I think it's quite interesting because at this moment there are many projects on Artblocks, but I think for artists it's very important to create the idea, and also it should be innovation. It should be something new. It should be something maybe that you never see it before, and I think it's important that to see the other artists what they are doing, and to find out a way that it belongs to yourself.
Okay, perfect. So it's your reply. It's really about innovation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question for you regarding innovation. So the first one, it's which innovation would you like to see on the general art space?
Okay. I think, for example, the generative art is a form. It's a very neutral form that you wrote the program into it, but you should have different concept. For example, that you can put the oil painting, the texture, this kind of texture into the generative art, and that you can make your code become different. For example, I have a piece published this year on FX hash. It's called Misologic logic. And I try to use it's a 2D, a lot of 2D lines and the point. But I try to using this 2D to simulate the reflection of metal. So when it's moved gradually and to the output, it's if you look closely, it's all geometry. But if you look a little bit far away, that you see the shining of the metal, it's like a silver or something gold, the reflection. So it's become interesting because the shining, actually it's not using the traditional 3D model to do that, but if you using the 2D to do that, and it become another different texture. It's just like the old painter, the old painter, they use a different kind of a technique and to simulate something shining with the painting. So I think it's interesting that to put this kind of concept into the generative art, and you use the code to generate that, it's become very interesting. So I think it's important that you can find many different approach in your life, and try to transform them into the code, and using the code to simulate the different things. That makes the things become interesting, because it's something you never see before, and that can make your works much different from others, and that's make your works become unique. I think it's important that you can, beside the programming, that you can still find a lot of different approach in our life, and we can try to combine them and into our code. So I think it's there are still many different things that we can put into the generative art. So I'm still looking forward for many artists. They always bring very crazy idea and put into the generative art. So it's make the world become very interesting.
Okay, perfect. And still with the innovation, which artist did a recent innovation that impressed you the most?
For me, like I like recently, I think I like quite much like about my pen. He's doing the dragon, and he's like using the different kind of texture, and to describe something like a dragon, which is also very popular works on FH that they are made, and it's very expensive right now. I think it is trying to describe to make the texture a little bit like very like a Chinese painting for me, and I think this kind of approach is interesting. And I also have some like my friend Arwan, like he publishes the tuner lines in the middle of I forget, maybe in June or in July, and he's trying to simulate the water color. So if you see his piece, that it's called the tuner light, and you see the different kind of technique with this kind of piece, and so using the generative art, it become different, because normally when we think about the old generative art for a few years ago, it's all like a geometry, and the shape is very clear. But now there are many developers, many artists, they develop their work using this kind of different technique, and make their works become much different. Some works it's like a pencil, and some work is like a watercolor, and there's a different kind of like oil painting. So I think it's for me it's a very innovation technique, because it's much different from the digital art we saw before.
Okay, perfect. May I ask you to send the name of that artist on the chat, just to be sure
Yes,
to be able to find it. And in between, when you are going to tape, thank you to all the watcher. Don't hesitate to ask any question to the artist today, and I'm sure that he will be very happy to reply to it. Thank you for the chat. Let's talk about collaboration.
Okay.
What do you think about collaboration? Have you already done that on the past?
Yes. I work with Jinyao Lin and Arwan Wang. I can type the the name for you, Yuan Din and Luan Wang. That we have a collaboration this year. I think we published a piece called collage. That it's a very interesting work. That we have a different kind of shape, but it combines the different the three artists that we have different texture. So with this piece, that we are able to join our spatial texture together and to make a it's like a collage in Japan, that they try to find a different texture and to put them in together. So we published this work on FAH, which also I think it's also the second piece of the FS collab on FAH. So it's quite interesting, and I'm quite happy because I bought a lot with this piece because they are all very good friends of mine. So I try to collect this piece because I really love it very much.
Okay, perfect. And what do you think about collaboration? Because here you talk about the collaboration between artist and artist. What are your thoughts on a collaboration between artists and brands?
And who?
Brands, like
Brands.
regular businesses.
Okay. Actually, not yet with the collaboration. Oh, I collab with the I think it's Art Taipei. It's a art fair show in Taipei this year. So I have a work published on Arcaswap, which is a 300 edition piece, generative art, and they use this piece into for a gift for the VIP. So it's not for sale, and only the VIP, their guests can get the piece. So I made the 300 edition for the piece, and I think it's quite interesting because normally we sell the piece to on FXH or to the public, but there will be some interesting cooperation because this collector they are very special because they did not get into the NFT market yet. They are still outside the NFT market, so it's a good chance that to reach this collector before they start to collect the NFT. They can collect one piece of from my work. So I think it's quite interesting because there are many people they are trying to push the boundary to many new collector. I think this kind of cooperation is good because you can reach some people that you might be difficult to reach. So I think this kind of cooperation is good for me.
Yes. So did you talk about art in Taipei?
Art fair, yeah, it's called Art Taipei.
Okay.
I think it's
And
a
so,
big
yes. So
art
for
fair.
this event, basically you made a collaboration with whoever organized that event, and you make limited supply
Yes.
as a gift for the VIP members.
Yes. There's a totally 300 edition for the VIP members.
Oh, perfect. And did Art Taipei help them certainly, configuring hardware wallet or a crypto wallet? What was because I will assume that the collector wasn't on the already onboarding on Web3.
Yeah. There are many because for the art, it's a traditional art fair that they sell the real painting, real artwork. So and for example, there in Taiwan, not many art collector they go into the Web3 already they're still not into the market. But here in the art fair, they want to introduce more about the NFT to introduce the Web3 to all the collector, because they want all these collector, I think they have money and they are interested in buying artwork, but they are not familiar with this kind of interface. So it's interesting that they try to introduce this kind of method, the new media, to the collectors. So I think this kind of collaboration is it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good use cases.
Yes.
And do you recall what has been done to help the collector? So again, I'm assuming that the collector never play with a MetaMask, never play with a coin or whatever. So that means that they are completely fresh on this space. What the event have done to help them go through that journey?
Okay, I think this it's very interesting. Like for this year, I have and several artists that we work with collab with FXH, that we show our generative art work at Art Basel, Hong Kong. That it's an event of a live meeting. So the audience, they need to go to the booth of Art Basel, and they need to use their mobile phone to do the mint, so they can mint our work, our piece there. I think it's quite interesting that because it's kind of combine the real life, and that in real life that you can join an event and trying to get something on the Web3. That's I think they duplicate this kind of form many times, like they also do in Basel, in Basel, and they also this time in Miami. That I'm going to Miami next week to join the Basel Miami. Yeah. So they also have the event to have some generative artists there. The audience can go to the booth and to use their mobile phone to get the new NFT. So it's quite interesting because it's become how to say that, it's a proof of attendance, that if you attend this event, then that you can get something for memory. I think it's quite interesting. So also here in Taiwan, that there are many events we are now holding, that for the audience, they can come to join the event, and they can get an NFT, get to in their wallet. So I think it's become trendy that the artists can use this way to publish their work, and to work with the event, the holder of the event, to make it more meaningful. I think it's another way to do the generative art, for generative art to publish their work.
Okay, perfect. And did you still on the collaboration between artists and businesses? Do you have any other example? Maybe not about what you have done on the past, but maybe something that you have seen on the market that you find interesting to share?
Yeah, I think there's also. I think there's some case that the artist can work with the business to do some charity event. For example, they are able to generate the piece, and I think it's for the collector, they can do some charity things. For example, they buy the piece, and for the payment can be transformed into some charity event, like supporting the children or supporting something different. So I think here in Taiwan, okay, I published, I joined a project. It's called the project percentage. That we have 5 generative artists in Taiwan, and we each of us we make a piece for them. So totally, there's a 5 piece, but you can eventually you can collect each one, and they can become one big piece. And it's a project for charity. So if you buy this piece, and all the money will be transformed into they want to support more event in Taiwan for the artists. They can do something in the Web3 world. So it's I think it's interesting that they are doing so. I believe there are more charity way to do in with the artist and the business. Yeah.
And it's also smart for the business part, because doing for charity, so removing the money aspect of it, will still lead to first entry data, meaning that whoever want to mint the piece, you can at some point recontact this person. So it's also smart for a business standpoint, even if you remove the money aspect right away.
Yes. I think it's a different. It's quite smart for the business to do that. I think there's also some possibility that to do like in something in real life, like you can exchange the NFT can be something to be exchanged in real life. So if you
Like
collect, you for example, that okay, in Taiwan I saw there's an artist they published an NFT, and with the NFT you can go to a bookstore to exchange. They have 3 books. So if you buy the NFT, that you are able to exchange the new book, the real book, so like I think they use this way to introduce to make the audience to go to their bookstore.
Yeah, so it's like an incentivize to use the NFT, and they are gamifying the experience to make like a high incentive to make someone not on the Web3 space start using the Web3 technology.
Yes. So it's make the I think it's they try to use the Web3, the NFT as how to say
As a gateway?
Advertisement for the bookstore.
As a what?
Advertisement. The
okay.
commercial.
Yes. Okay, makes sense. And just to finish on that part, are there which tech that the bookstore was using for the exchange? Did it was just to showcase your phone, or did there was like you have to send it to to burn the token? What was used to?
I think you need to go to the bookstore, and to I think you need to send to burn them before in the bookstore. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like the bookstore have like a regular, so let's say a wallet, and you have to send the token to your wallet to the bookstore wallet.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So after they see, okay, this NFT was burned, and that they can give you the books to you.
Okay, perfect. But it wasn't. So you saw that in Taipei? Why?
Yes.
In a bookstore. Yes. Okay. And would you say that people didn't find that difficult to do?
No, I think at this moment it's I think the percentage is still very low. Not many people, but it become a new way to sell the books, because with the NFT, that you can pre-sale the books, and you get the currency, the digital currency, immediately. So I think it's a quite interesting way they are developing. And I saw, okay, I know there's also artists in Taiwan. They trying to, like, there's an artist, she's make a earring for and it's handmade. So you can, but she's selling the patent on using the NFT. So if you buy the NFT, that you are able to reach her booth and to exchange the earring.
Okay, perfect. Right. So thanks for all these example. Talking about event, why do you attend a real life event?
The live event?
The real life event, in a real life event.
Oh, you mean the live event in next week in Miami?
Yes, that it's one example. You know, the Art Basel at Miami. It's an example of in a real life event. My question, it's more general. It's like why lead you to attend these things?
Okay. For the next week, because for the Art Basel next Miami, that they are totally, I think, 13 artists were invited to show their piece there. So I'm also one of the artists in. So I have 2 works will be shown in Art Basel, Miami. So this and I also have some time that I think I can go to Miami to see how it works. And I'm also very interested in how Teiso Foundation they present the works on FAH, because last time in Art Basel, Hong Kong, that I was the artist to make the collector can mint, but because of the COVID-19, that's why I was not able to attend. So, but this time in Miami, that's I think it's more easy for us to go abroad, and so I want to go to Miami to see how my works present there, and also I want to see if I can meet more collector there. That's because my project, Metaphysics, is coming soon. That I think maybe I can know more collector and to explain what I'm doing, and maybe they will be interested in collecting my new piece.
Okay, perfect. So there is several aspect to it to go to the event, and it's an opportunity for you to gather several kind of insight.
Yes.
Perfect. Regarding a collector, we have 12 minutes left. Regarding collector, have you been able to create a community around yourself?
Yes. I think mostly I have my collector on the Twitter. That's because I'm very interested in publishing my work, and that I like to publish my work in progress on my Twitter. So I think there's a lot of people they interact with me on Twitter. That sometimes they would send directly message to me and to discuss what I'm doing. So I'm quite happy that I know a lot of people on Twitter, because that's the community that I never reached before. So with this kind of with Twitter, that I'm able to meet many people. So many people, I think that I think it's quite different from before, because those people, those collectors, that I never meet them, I never know what's in real life about them. But it's very interesting that we can talk directly on Twitter. So I think there's a community there and also there's some people on Discord that we are able to join. So it's a very kind that I've been invited to some Discord channel that there are many artists inside. So it's for me, it's also very interesting that I can publish my work in progress to them, and they can give me some advice. So it's quite interesting. It's all virtual, and I never know who are these guys on the web, but I'm having fun talking with them to discussion about how the generative art can do, and it's quite fun to me. It's bring me a lot of fun.
Okay, and maybe one day, randomly on an event, you will find out who is the person behind the profile picture.
Yeah,
that is the most fun.
Yeah. There's but it's very difficult for me because all those people, they have a very strange ID on Twitter. That's it's a little difficult for me to remember them. That's and even for me to read them because all the ID was so strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's wonderful. Any advice to any artist to handle a community?
I think I'm not so sure if I can give advice to them, but I think it's still a world very with a lot of potentially possibility. So I think that if more people can come to join this world and to explore the fun of how to write a program and to make them into art, I think it's quite important that we have made as many artists as we can, and all these artists can be also collected to collect each other, so that we can have a very strong community. And I think it's something, if we have a more artists join, and there's a more new outstanding masterpiece being generated, that will be very cool, and that can make the market much bigger.
Okay, perfect. Did there is any subject that you would like to talk, and I didn't give you the opportunity to talk about?
No, I think it's we talked many things about the market, but I want to say that in Taiwan, we have very strong community. In Taiwan, there's a lot of Taiwanese. They try to gather together and to doing so. We have a platform in Taiwan. I work with Aran Wang and also some artists in Taiwan that we make a platform. It's called Akaswap, and we have many artists publish their works here. So I want to invite people, artists. If maybe you can come to visit the Akaswap and to try to publish your works here. So we have also very strong community, and you can come to our channel to talk with us.
Okay, perfect. And where people can find that?
Okay, I think it's I can type the website for you, so you're able to see. It's called Akaswap, AKASWAP.
Akaswap.com.
Yes. Just go to check the website, and you can also see my works for the Art Taipei there. Yeah, perfect.
So if people click on this or go on this website, could you walk them through a little bit what they will be able to find, and what is the call to action?
Okay, I think it's a website that you are able to mint your works here. We accept many kind of phone, and within this platform that you are also able to see the object mint on here and now, and FX hash. That's all this platform you are able to see here. And also there's some interesting function with the platform, because you can make something like a lucky draw, that you make a lot of NFT into a pool, and that you can collect the different kind of piece there. So, and also we have some curation project there, so you can come to see what we are doing. And there's also some interesting function, like we have an ocean and we have a bundle, and also we are able to create an artist club that you can share the revenue to your club, like you ask the club a lot of member to help you to advise your piece, and you can share the revenue directly by the smart contract to them. So we have many different way to do. So it's also a playground for the artist that you can do a lot of different things. And we are also developing some new function for the artist every week. So you can see that every week we have update our program, and you are able to show your piece in a 3D, in a VR. We create a showroom, so you can put your piece inside the showroom. So we have many interesting functions here. So maybe if you are interested in that.
Okay, I get it. There is a lot of feature, and what you just say, it's like you welcoming everyone, maybe especially Taiwanese, but maybe I'm getting wrong. So I will say you welcoming everyone to learn here and to discover all the feature and to be part of that club.
Sure. It's a platform that everyone can come. Yeah.
Welcome. Perfect. And I have two last questions. So the first one, it's for you. What is an NFT?
For me,
yes.
NFT, I think it's something for. It's a new media that generating artists can give their works become something live. That it become a new identity that can exist on the digital world. So for the NFT, for me, for an artist, that is something very important to give your works a life.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. And last question for you. So it's something new that I will do with you. You are the first guest. Sorry about that. So you are the first guest with who I'm going to do that. So before I was doing what I call pass decisive. So it's where basically I'm asking to my current guest which other guest the current guest want to see on the Robert Spotlight. But I'm going to do something different. It's still going to be named pass decisive, but the question is which brand would you love to do a collaboration?
Yes, sure. That would be interesting. That I'm looking forward for the chance that we can cooperate in some other way. Of course.
But could you name one brand like you would like to do a collaboration? So if for example I give you the opportunity to do collaboration with whatever brands that you want to do, which one? Yes.
Okay. For me, I'm quite busy because I also need to teach, but in the university. But for me, the winter vacation or summer vacation is much free for me to do a new project.
Okay. Perfect. So that was a wonderful conversation. I hope that you learned a lot about Jinyao Lin. Sorry for the pronunciation. I will let you say your name because it's going to be proper. Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope that. Sorry. Yes. So I hope that this discussion will help you to understand better that artist. Go on Aquaswap if you want to look up about all the feature. It's going to be next week on Art Basel Miami, and his next further project in Art Blocks is going to be launched the 7th of December, and that's all for me.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Thank you. so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.